XL Primetime, brought to you by Modelo, the official beer of the College Football Playoff.
So let's start putting together our XLP to the CFP with Modelo, the official beer of the College Football Playoff, as we name our first 12. And I think we still need to go from 12 down to 1, although 1 may be about as obvious as anything right now, just depending on what we just talked about. But let's just go ahead and set the table. First, the bottom 4, if you will.
The bottom 4?
So that will be 12, 11, 10, 9.
Okay, the bottom 4. Then at number 12, I've got Boise State at number 12.
Okay.
Boise State at number 12. At 11, I've got Mizzou. I've got Mizzou at 11. At 10, I got Oregon. And at 9, I got Bama. Those are my first 4.
Okay, I like that. And that is more than anything else saying that I think we all were a little in love with Oregon, and Oregon didn't quite do everything it was supposed to do over the weekend. Denny Thompson said it yesterday. He goes, it wasn't as close as maybe it looked, but it wasn't pretty.
No, it wasn't. The score wasn't, but when I went back and looked at the numbers, I mean, everything, the yardage, the passing, the running, the third down efficiency, everything said blowout except for the scoreboard.
All right, well, first off, before I get into my lower 4, I love the way we're doing this.
Yeah.
Because this is the poll. Like, what's happening right now in the AP poll is meaningless. Because there's one of these guys locked in that are not even going to be in the top 25, more than likely. The group of 5 champions.
Yeah, it has to be.
Right?
Yeah.
And the 4 champions of the 4 power conferences are going to be 1 through 4. And they're most certainly not going to be 1 through 4 in the AP and coaches poll. Okay? So we're doing it the right way. Everybody else out there, the wrong way. All right. I got Liberty at 12. Love Caden Slater.
And now, did you
love him?
Yeah.
I got Ole Miss at 11.
Okay.
All right. By the way, did you see Austin Simmons in that game? He played pretty much the entire second half.
Right.
Boy, he looks good. He looks good. Like Florida could have used him last year.
Oh, yeah.
And he probably would have been their starting quarterback this year. I think he's still 18. I don't even think he's 19 yet. Or he may have just turned 18. Because I think he was 16 when he signed, and he might have turned 17 during the season. So he might still be 17. Man, he's 6'4". He's probably 225. And he's got a hose.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if something happens with Dart, who I think is going to be the Heisman conversation, I'm not saying all of a sudden he picks up and goes with Austin Simmons and there's no hiccup.
Right.
But there's not much of a drop-off, man. That's a good player. Number 10, I got USC, the biggest jumper of all. I said this earlier, and it's just, I think the thing that really was remarkable for me, it wasn't Miller Moss, because we knew he was going to be a good player. We saw him last year in the bowl game when he had 7 total touchdowns. The thing that really was remarkable to me was the instant impact Deanton Lynn did on that defense. They were bigger. They were faster. They ran to the ball and pursued like it was the Pete Carroll defenses. I was shocked by how well they played defense.
Yeah.
So they are my 10, and my 9 is another big riser, Notre Dame. Going into College Station and winning that game,
right? That
was a difficult spot. A new coach, the fans were crazy. The coach knew everything about your quarterback. You're in there with a completely rebuilt offensive line, a true freshman at left tackle.
Yeah.
They gutted it out, man. And I think as much as anything, I love the personality that Marcus Freeman, who, by the way, is a rock star coach. He's only going to get bigger. I love the personality they have with him right now. And Riley Leonard fits that personality perfectly. And the more comfortable he gets, the more of you're going to win because of Riley Leonard instead of win with Riley Leonard type of guy.
All right, our XLP to the CFP. And you're right, we're doing this a certain way because we're wanting to look and see. Now, look, these will change every single week. And just because I might have, let's just say Georgia at the top, Ohio State second or whatever, just based on what I saw. Every one of us has a different way of viewing what we saw the first weekend. I'm actually going to have a couple guys a little bit higher than it sounds like you guys have. I'm not going to change my group of 5 right now because I'll just stay with Liberty because that's what I had going in, and I didn't see enough to make me change my mind. We know that they're going to be the 12th one as far as that goes. Alabama didn't play anybody, okay? There was even a Western Kentucky drive that was it seemed like it took forever for Alabama to get the ball back. I still like what I see from them. Anyway,
they look good, man.
Yeah.
They look good.
I know, but against
I know it's Western Kentucky, but they look very operationally sound.
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe's throwing the ball differently now, too. And he's got a quicker release, and he looks way more comfortable.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to put Alabama 11th. I'm going to put LSU 10th because LSU is still a good football team as an 0-1 team. I thought that was honestly a damn good game with defense to match offense on both sides of that USC LSU. So I don't mind doing this. I'm going to go ahead and put LSU in. I don't know how long
You
it'll
better
last.
have USC ahead of them and not one of those AP poll guys.
They're much higher up there.
All right,
and look, I'm Brian Kelly slamming the table, saying I should have coached better to win this football game. And so then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reach in. I'm going to take Kansas State as my Big 12 representative right now. So I will go UNLV, Alabama, LSU, Kansas State. Okay, 12 through 9. All right, next 4.
My next 4, all right, at number 8, I got Ole Miss at number 8. I watched it at number 7, I got Penn State. I watched that Penn State, West Virginia game. Penn State is a good team, very good team. Number 6, I've got Notre Dame. Like what Matt just alluded to, that game against Texas A&M. That was a hostile environment to come out there. You said, listen, bro, when you go into an environment like that, if you got to squeak away with a win, just get the hell up out of there.
9-6, I'm
that's
good.
Notre Dame was fine with that win. And at number 5, I've got Texas. I got Texas at number 5.
Okay.
It looked like it was going to be one of those 9-6 games.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was for a long time. It was under double digits, and then it got to 13-13. You're thinking, all right, well, field goal's going to win this thing. It's going to be one of those classic SEC type games.
Yeah.
It was just a fun as hell game to watch.
All right, so 8
all right,
to 5.
My 8 is Texas.
Okay.
I love what Texas is doing. I think they're much deeper on offense this year, especially at the receiving core. I don't think they got as good as running game as they did last year. We'll see. I mean, I think they're as good on defense. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not going all in on Texas because I told you guys earlier that I think Texas is going to get a rude awakening in this league because there are no gimmies.
Yeah,
okay, and Vanderbilt showed that last week. There are no gimmies in this league.
I had them sky high, and I won't necessarily. Yeah.
Although, I mean, there might be a gimme in games. I'll be honest, but that's another story for another time. All right, so I got Texas at 8. I got Penn State at 7. I mean, Drew Allard looks fantastic. Yeah. I mean, Andy Koldenicki is going to be the hire of the offseason. He and
Allard
Dan
was
Lynn.
awesome.
Yeah, he and Dan Lynn were the two biggest coordinator hires in the offseason. Just terrific. We're not going to see anything from Penn State, by the way, until mid-October when they
I thought it would be a better game, and it was not.
When they play at USC. That's their next really tough game. So they're going to be hovering around 6-7, that area for a while now. Number 6, I dropped Oregon. And it may be overreaction week 1, and I get all that, but there was a lot of operational stuff that didn't look good. A lot of penalties on the offensive line that stopped drives. It just didn't look like a functional team. It doesn't mean they won't get it right.
Right.
Because Dylan Gabriel looked fantastic. But I'm going to drop them a little bit. That's all. You know what? You got to earn it.
Yeah, sure.
You got to earn it.
That's the whole basis of this.
And then number 5, I got Alabama. And I think, and again, I know it's just Western Kentucky, okay? Western Kentucky's a pretty darn good Group 5 team. That's number 1. Number 2, boy, that team, I was shocked at how smooth they looked. They got a freshman wide receiver named Ryan Williams. He's still 17. He won't be 18 until February. He reclassified.
Yeah. And
he is the fastest guy in the field. He was the fastest guy in the field last week. He's going to be the fastest guy in the field in most weeks. He had 2 catches, and he averaged 69.5 yards a catch.
Yeah. It's just nuts.
Both touchdowns, both catches.
That's just
before they pulled him and said, we've seen enough.
Yeah, if you go 69.5 on average, then you should find the end zone. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so that your 8 through 5, my 8 through 5. I'm going to keep Texas down there because of basically who they faced. They had Quinn Ewers, got Arch in there. Arch, thankfully, he was able to see some action, look pretty good. So I'll put them in as the number 8 team. I'll put Ole Miss in as the next team because they just beat up on a bad opponent. They really did beat the hell out of them. Like, come on, Lane. And then after that, I'm going to go Penn State 7th because I thought they looked really good. And I probably should have them a little bit higher, but like we said, based on our preseason stuff, I'm going to put them in there. And I'm going to put Southern Cal in at that number 5 spot because Southern Cal looked really good in my mind. And I probably should have one thing a little bit out of order, but I'm going to go ahead and just keep them there for the here and now. So down to your final 4.
Okay, my final 4 is at number 4, I got Utah. At number 3, I got Miami. Impressive showing in the swamp this past Saturday. Ohio State at number 2. And no surprise here at number 1, Bulldogs. Mm-hmm. They look impressive, absolutely impressive, especially on the defensive side of the field.
All right, my number 4 is Oak State. Really impressive what they did at South Dakota State. South Dakota State had won 29 straight. They hadn't lost in 3 years. Their quarterback was the Harlan Hill winner, which is the Heisman Trophy for the FCS level. Mm-hmm. They're a legit program. They could beat, I bet they could beat, well, first off, they could beat every MAC school. Mm-hmm. I bet they could beat every Conference USA school. I bet they'd beat at least half of the American Conference schools. Like they could beat a lot of teams in FBS, all right? So that was not like an easy cupcake game for them, I should say.
I thought you were going to say Vanderbilt until this past week.
Right, I didn't say Vandy. No, that's all gone now, bro. Mm-hmm. I love what they did, and I love the fact that Alan Bowman, the showman, looked really good. I'm excited about Oklahoma State, actually. Very excited to see what happens with them moving forward, including this week.
Yeah.
Playing host to, Sammy Pittman and the Hogs. Big game there. Big game in Stillwater. All right, number 3, the Canes. Love it. And I know everybody's falling in love with Cam Ward. I fell in love with that defense, man. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to make a prediction right now. Their defense will be top 5 scoring defense by the end of the year.
I want to see them go through the ACC, and then what happens after that. And don't be fooled by the team they played.
No, I get that, but I'm saying...
Because right now, Florida sucks so bad.
I saw the way they ran, and I saw how big they are, and I saw the way they covered.
Just remember, Florida sucks now.
I get it. They're gonna be. I guarantee they're pissed off right now about that last touchdown, but it'll be even more to them as you get later in the season. They start to rise in the scoring defense. I got the Buckeyes at 2. I mean, we're not going to see anything from them in a while. In fact, the next 2 games are Western Michigan and Marshall. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a while before we see somebody test them. But they're just so talented. It's hard not to put them at 2. And at 1, Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you? Goodness gracious, that defense.
Right. They faced a good team, not necessarily a great team, but they faced a good team, and they wore them out.
That D,
for the last
I'm telling you,
minutes.
by the end of the year, that D will be better than the 2021 D. Yeah. Wait and see.
All right, so my last 4, I'm just putting Ohio State 4th right now because it wasn't a contest. Okay, and I'm looking at week to week what happens, okay? I'm going to put Ohio State 4. I'm going to put Miami right there in front of them because, like we said, Florida stinks right now. But Miami, what they did and what Cam Ward did was really, really impressive. I'm going to put Notre Dame in that 2nd spot right now. Going on the road. Yeah, listen, I'm trying to look at who went on the road and who did what. And I think they really impressed the heck out of me in an environment, in a late game after a defensive battle. They made plays when they needed to. Again, this is going to be a fluid situation, constantly changing, because I'm leaving Oregon out right now. Oregon is out right now. Notre Dame is in the 2nd slot, and then Georgia in that top spot. That's how I'm looking at it, right? Just based on what I saw. Okay?
I like that you got Notre Dame there.
I'm moving them. Yeah, and
it's gutty.
They may be chess pieces moving all over the place. All right, so there you go. You guys let us know what you think about what you saw this first weekend. You can go to X. You can vote there. But that is our Modelo XLP to the CFP as we get ready with the official beer of the college football playoff.
Mia here, and thanks so much for watching 1010XL. For even more content from around Jacksonville's sports scene, be sure to like and subscribe to the 1010XL channel.